Hi, and welcome everyone to the Healer's Journey webinar. This is number 8 in our learning series. This is called Lessons for the Soul, and I'm really excited to share this with you tonight. There's always something that reveals itself as something important to share with my favorite group of people who are joining us here on the Healer's Journey. So thank you very much for being here. And I just wanted to introduce myself once again. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I am Rosemary Levesque. I'm owner of Second Nature Healing, and I'm also the author of Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. That's my first book. I'm in the process of writing my second book, which actually started out as my first book, but there you go, right? That's how it works. I'm also an Usui Tibetan Reiki Master, a Karuna Reiki Master, and an Illumination Reiki Master, as well as a practicing shaman. And you can see if you're on the webinar tonight, you have, that's me with my dog Gracie. I'm an animal lover, animal communicator as well, and a psychic intuitive. And I will get this to move forward eventually. There we go. Instead of a disclaimer, I always like to have my proclamation, and we say it this way. The information, thoughts, and ideas presented here honor your intentions to empower you with natural choices that support personal well-being. Conveyed with compassion, truth, and openness, our intention is to help you see beyond the filters of disclaimers which tend to support a one-sided approach to the health industry. We also proclaim that we are whole, vibrant beings in physical form and maintain sovereignty to nourish, support, and empower our lives with divine gifts and a natural ability to heal. And what is the Healer's Journey webinar learning series? We've been on this now for several weeks, a couple of weeks. We had a holiday in there, so it feels like it's going on for a while now. And I wanted to just reiterate what we're doing here. And the Healer's Journey webinar learning series is a way for us to connect, as well as a tool or series of tools you can use to recognize the healer in yourself. We're moving from the thought of individuals shining their light, the masters and teachers who have come before us, toward a community of light workers, a mass consciousness of healing wisdom to raise the vibration of each other, the planet, the universe, and God within us. Working as a whole person within a community of like-minded beings expressing their wholeness, their inner light, we have the ability to manifest our goals and desires, our joy, our abundance, and connection to all that is. Through self-healing, self-actualization, growth, utilization of tools, development of skills and ideas, and increasing our vibration, we become a greater expression of ourselves as healers, as divine embodied beings. Now that's a lot. It's a big goal. It's something that, there are many resources, books, and other healers out there in the world. There are many places for us to learn and different people to learn from whom we can learn, as well as the tools that we choose to use, or along with our gifts and talents. We have our medicine. We talked about that in our second webinar. What is your magic and what is your medicine? However, it's never a process that we ever stop. We're always learning. We're always doing. We're always um, moving forward. And we're always having these conversations because just in having the conversation, just in having this webinar, we are creating conversation, which is part of what we teach in Reiki. We have the individual, which is prayer, and we have two together conversation. You know, it's just a wonderful way to bring in the connection of divine energy to our personal energy. And that's what we're really trying to do here. We're all working toward the same goal, and so this brings up conversation around how we can do that. Now, in the past, we've talked about the signs of being a healer and how to recognize the magic and the medicine that you have within you. And we also discussed how miracles are normal and how to recognize miracles in our lives. And if you haven't participated or heard the previous webinars, all of them are available on YouTube. And when you're registered for the webinar series, you begin to get each recording one at a time, so you won't miss anything. In the fourth webinar, we presented the idea of vibration, that everything vibrates and we can raise and lower our vibration. And these changes can improve or damage our health. In the fifth webinar in the series, we focused on our journey as light beings in physical form, excuse me, and the questions we ponder as we move forward. We are in a constant state of seeking answers. We're like children in this, right? Don't you know some children are always asking questions? And that's how we are. We're always asking questions. How does this happen? Why is this so? Why is it that I feel this way? And as we revealed the idea of being the lighthouse, we know that it's not our purpose to fix anyone. Yet there are times we feel blocked, stuck, or unable to move forward, unable to do anything. So today, our topic is Lessons for the Soul, where we'll bring in concepts from previous webinars around questions we have, as well as what it means to be in vibrational alignment with Spirit. And I'm hoping that we can stay on time. I feel like this will be a shorter webinar. I don't have as many pictures to share with you. It's more concepts and perhaps some discussion. So through the course of the next 30 to 40 minutes, I hope you'll resonate with some of the questions presented here and know that you're not alone. In addition, I hope you'll want to continue on your journey as healers and learn to use your healing abilities with more intention and purpose. And at the end of the presentation, I'll share with you a few tools to help you get started, as well as a chance to learn more. And if you are registered for the webinar series through my website, you're also occasionally getting some support tools, perhaps an additional article I've written, a picture to look at and utilize in some way. There's always an opportunity to reach out, to say, hey, what do you think about this? Ask for personal mentorship, supportive classes, or intuitively guided healing sessions. And I'll share with you how to do that at the end of the webinar. Okay, are you ready? All right, let's get started. We talk about, these were some of the concepts in What is the Healer's Journey webinar learning series. We are individuals, and we're looking to connect with a community of light workers. We have tools for growth and learning through vibration. Now, what's your soul learning from your life's journey? That's really the question we're talking about today. What is your soul learning from your life's journey? We are here to learn. In fact, there's been some strategy around it. spiritual people, the psychic people, the people who have had near-death experiences talk about some of these things. There's evidence that we are here to learn something, and we've actually strategized before we are born on what we want to learn and what kinds of experiences we want to have. And yet through it all, there are choices that we can make and opportunities that we have. We don't really remember what we signed up for. That's not something for us to be holding on to in the back of our mind. We don't have to know that. All we have to do is be here. And I have a few terms for us to think about while we're talking about these things. One is free will. Free will is an expression of choice that exists for every circumstance, every thought, feeling, action, or communication. We all have free will. Earth is a free will planet. And if you look at how people are choosing or not choosing to express themselves, you kind of wonder, gee, do we really have free will? Some of us take this very seriously and say, okay, sure. And others choose with your free will to not do anything or to not say anything. So free will here is so broad an expression, so broad, that everything you have, every choice, every circumstance, every feeling is actually a choice. You can choose to be happy or not be happy. And not being happy, that's a choice. You can choose to do a particular task, or you can choose not to. You can choose to react to a situation, or you can choose not to. By not doing something, that is also a choice. Some people use inaction as a default, but that's a choice. So don't miss that one. Physical manifestation is an indication of existence, reality, or presence, a coming into being. So, for example, you might think, all right, I have lots of money. And you're beginning to think that, and you're beginning to believe that, and then next thing you know, there's this physical manifestation of, oh, gee, there's a new job, or wow, here's an opportunity I hadn't considered before, or here's a way that I can do something, have this particular action to achieve that actual manifestation, that thought. So a physical manifestation is an indication of existence or reality or presence, a coming into being. And I'd like to say one more thing about physical manifestation, and that is that if something is not physical, it is not seen, perhaps, or not felt, or the presence doesn't seem to be there. But energetically, you bet, it is there. So energetically, things happen before they come together physically. So that's one point I wanted to make about that. The third term is low vibration emotions. These are feelings that bring about the physical manifestations of reactionary behavior, harmful actions, and malicious intent, suffering, hostility, impatience, meanness, etc. So we have emotions. We all have emotions. There are emotions that are high vibration emotions, happiness, joy, peace, and so forth. And then there are low vibration emotions that center around fear and doubt and hatred, things that are that actually will cause, because these are low vibration emotions, they will cause a physical manifestation of something that you don't want. But really, you're asking for them because your vibration is low. So you're going to manifest the low vibration physical things. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Yes. We can move on. Certainly ask questions if you have any. Why is it that some people heal, have money, feel joyful, and some don't? Who manifests and who doesn't? So I want to take a moment to just consider that based on what I just said in the glossary terms. Who manifests and who doesn't? So is everybody manifesting something? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Everybody is manifesting something. You are either manifesting high vibrational things like joy, happiness, abundance, peace, harmony, all of those things, or you are manifesting low vibrational things like the reactions and the meanness and the unhappiness and ill health, and that's what you're bringing into form based on your emotions, based on how you feel. And these are actually really quite interesting. It was brought up in an earlier webinar. We talked about Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, and the work he's doing with epigenetics. And this is a big deal, epigenetics. If you haven't heard of that one before, go back and listen to the other webinar or pick up Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, and learn a little bit more about epigenetics. It's a real deal. And so who manifests and who doesn't? Who gets to heal and who doesn't get to heal? Well, the people who are doing the healing work, the vibrational, positive thoughts, really working for changing your thoughts, changing your habits, visualizing your body getting better, using thought alone and some other vibrational tools, those people get to heal. And they are manifesting healing. And so who doesn't get to heal? It's the people who are manifesting something else. They're still manifesting, but they're manifesting what they're thinking about. Do you think that people who are in hospice care, who have been told they are terminal, do you think that they are going to manifest death? Probably, right? They were told that. They are believing that. And that's the direction they're headed in. And that's what they are manifesting. For whatever reason it is on their life journey, this is their experience. This is their reality. And so their vibration is set at their manifestation to move toward not healing, to move toward transitioning or to move toward death. And not that it's right or wrong, it's just what is. It's the experience that people have. And we're here tonight because we want to learn about these experiences and perhaps how to move into how to change those experiences. Suffering versus turbulence. Now, in the last webinar, we talked about suffering, and I believe I said it's not necessary to suffer in order to become a healer. We talked about how in shamanic traditions or even in religious traditions there and for Christian religion as well, the act of suffering, the act of sacrifice, the idea of giving up something or going through something horrific had value. Well, you know, maybe it does, but I don't believe that we really need to suffer. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that that's why we are here. I believe that we are here to achieve the greatest vibration we can possibly achieve, to achieve joy and happiness and abundance and all those wonderful things. So what's the difference then between suffering and turbulence? Do we all have turbulence of some kind in our lives? You know, are we faced with challenges that could knock us down? These are situations that upset our balance, right? They deplete our energy, perhaps. Did you ever have the flu and feel like you couldn't get out of bed? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. What about disappointments? Did you think you were going to have one thing and then something else happened? And it just really felt disappointing or frustrating. Did you ever have somebody yell at you for something or demean you in some way or criticize you in some way and feel awful about it and you got stuck in that vibration? Yeah, we all have turbulence in our lives. And this is the big thing here, that of course we're going to have turbulence. That's how things are. That's, you know, everybody has their own life path and they intersect with us. They connect with us in some way. We look at what's going on in the United States right now, following an election and an imminent inauguration. We are seeing some turbulence. There's been a lot of turbulence in Portland, especially, some rioting even, and expression, maybe not so much rioting, but more about expression of displeasure. So there's turbulence, and people are choosing how they react to that. Now, we could suffer. Sure, we could. We could choose to suffer and do the oh poor me thing, or we could choose to, and we can choose to accept this vibration, this low vibration of suffering, which causes us to have this victim energy. Now, we've talked before about victim energy. It's really sticky energy. If you begin to feel like you are a victim in a situation, that's kind of hard to shake. The more a person feels like a victim, the more they live up to that role. Oh, poor me, I'm a victim. Yes, this horrible thing happened to me, and I'm going to hold on to that. That's mine. And very sad to say, it happens a lot. But if you're suffering, and you turn that suffering into victim energy, that's not allowing for growth. That's not changing the vibration. But if you have felt suffering and you move away from that, let that leave you in some way and change it so that you're saying, oh, okay, we've had a little turbulence. I am going to change that viewpoint. I'm going to see this now as an opportunity instead to grow. Wholeness, we've talked about wholeness, where wholeness is an idea that we are perfect in our energy. These are aspects of the divine manifest in physical form. Here is where we need to begin. We all have life experiences that can deplete our energy, that can knock us down, that can feel like we've been abandoned or abused in some way. But if we know that we are whole, that we actually planned these opportunities, that it's impossible for us to be less than whole because we are part of something bigger and we're all connected. So wholeness is something that is wanting nothing. It's a journey toward reaching full potential. So there's the concept of suffering. Do we really know how to be illuminated healers unless we've experienced suffering? Well, we don't really need to suffer. in my opinion. We don't need to suffer. We can choose to suffer. We can choose to drag other people down with us, or try to, and bring them into that vibration of suffering and that low vibration. But we don't have to. We can instead experience growth of spirit. Growth of spirit results when we use turbulence in our lives to learn, transform, and transcend. Now, you might say that I'm just growing rainbows and and all kinds of, unicorns and things. What is this girl talking about, right? It might be a hard concept for people to swallow, especially if there has been job loss, injury, disease, and the suffering, that a lot of people, a lot of families have. Loss of a loved one, and all of the things that are in our lives. They just are. They are a part of our lives. But we can choose. We can choose to have growth of spirit. When we have this turbulence in our lives, we turn it into a learning opportunity, a way to transform and to transcend. Energy is everything. Everything is energy. All energy is connected throughout all space and time, throughout all dimensions, and throughout all beings. Now, I've heard it said that the science can measure the energy of the aura. You've seen aura pictures, right? And with the right equipment, you can even see or detect measurement of heart energy expanding out 8 feet from the physical body. Now, that's with that particular scientific equipment. But what about if you had scientific equipment that could measure a little better, right? Might it be possible that our heart energy expands even more than 8 feet? Could my heart energy, for example, connect to my brother's heart energy who is 3,000 miles away? Could we?
Yes.
Absolutely. In fact, we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've experienced that in your lives as well, that family, people you're close to, people you have a connection to, or animals you love, or places you love, or experiences you've had throughout time in the past, for example, or time that you expect in the future, you can connect to that. You can remember that through your emotions. You can remember how that feels. I'll never forget a hug that I've had, really important hugs in my life. I remember those. So those don't go away just because they happened on another day. We have a connection to all that is throughout all space and time, throughout all dimensions, and throughout all beings. We are whole, and we are all a part of the whole. It's a cool concept. I love thinking like this. Is your head hurting yet? I used to talk to a good friend of mine in college and just be blown away by trying to think of the boundaries of the universe, because we in physical form, in human form, we're thinking of everything having an edge, having a limit, having a boundary, right? So I used to sit and contemplate how the universe was. Gee, where did it go? And actually, there isn't a universe, there's a multiverse. There is no end. It's only the human mind that sees limits, because that's how we are. We are in a limited sort of thought process. It's just how our mind works. But if you can possibly remove the idea of limit and say that there is no limit, well, maybe you're onto something there. Maybe there is no limit. We've talked before about self-healing. What is self-healing? And what tools are available to you as illuminated healers to heal yourself? And what lessons become tools for your soul, for self-healing, for becoming whole, and for increasing your vibration? Well, what about if you become aware instead of reactive? What if you're in a situation, a conversation that in the past could have kind of pushed your buttons a little bit? Maybe it's a pet peeve or frustration that you've had before and you react to it. Well, what if instead of reacting, what if you just become aware instead? Now, this would be a really important tool. Just become aware of situations, of people, of things in your life that push your buttons. And don't let them push your buttons. Just become aware. It's like, oh, okay, there it is again. There's that thing that usually pushes my buttons. All right, I'm aware of it. You might even jot it down in a journal and say, when this happens, I notice that this other thing happens. So you've kind of discovered a sequence, a loop, in other words. Number 2, see turbulence as an opportunity for growth of spirit. And this takes practice. Number 2 and number 3, ask yourself, what is my soul learning from this? These take practice. This isn't an overnight one-hit wonder. You really have to quiet yourself, quiet your mind, become mindful, and make a conscious effort to pause in order to do this work. And this is work. This is something we have to perhaps unlearn in order to learn again. We have to unlearn how to react and rely on ego, which, hey, ego has served us well. Ego is a survival mechanism. Ego helps us. I love that I said eagle, by the way. Ego allows us to be reactive to save our lives, to save face, to continue to survive. And yet, if you let go of ego, then you are training yourself to see things in a different way, to ask yourself, what is my soul learning from this? What do I get from this experience? How can I use this experience to grow? How can I learn from this? And it isn't until we step out of the loop and become mindful that we begin to have this kind of progress. We begin to use these tools to get somewhere on the journey. Number 5, strategize through silence, playing out scenarios in your mind. Now, this may be where you can begin to change a habit. So maybe in the morning, before you get up. I'm not talking meditation here. I'm not talking about the going into your soul connection and having that special kind of silent activity of deep meditation where you speak with your guides perhaps, or you have an out-of-body experience perhaps. Meditation is a great tool. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about quieting yourself a little bit using the Become Aware tool and the Noticing tool and saying, okay, well today here's what I have on my agenda. Here, I've got to do this project. I'm doing this presentation. I've got this class I've got to go to. I've got to drive here. I've got to talk to these people. And in your mind, you're playing out these scenarios, and you can say, gee, when I'm getting ready to do to do this presentation to these people in my office, what usually happens is this, or this person usually does this. And you can see opportunities where you can change that in advance, so the circumstances will be different. Do you see what I'm saying? Kind of plan for it. Notice in advance where your loops are, your snags for tripping you up and making you repeat the same button pushing experiences. Okay, so strategize through silence. And number 6, know that you are connected to everything. You are connected to your past, your present, and your future. You're connected to your experiences and relationships. Your life's journey as a healer comes from all of who you are. It all matters. Now we can say, oh, gee, I don't like what happened in the past. I don't like that experience. I'm trying to forget it. We've all had some of those, right? And that's where ego steps in and says, oh, that's okay. You don't have to remember that experience. I've got you. We're just going to forget it. It's a defense mechanism that we all have. And these experiences will repeat themselves until we get it. Now, I will relate this in some way to an experience I had a couple of years ago. We had a bad winter, snow 2-3 years ago maybe. I fell one time during that. I was walking with Gracie, and I found a slippery spot, and boom, down I went. And it hurt. Oh my gosh, I hit my tailbone. I felt all my vertebrae stack up, got my wrist because that was breaking my fall as well. And what did I say when I got up? I said, why did I fall? Why was it that Spirit wanted to get my attention here? And I saw that as an opportunity for examining why. Why did I fall? Why did I get hurt? 2 weeks later, I fell exactly in the same place, exactly the same, around the same time of day, walking Gracie in the same spot, and I had the same injury 2 weeks later. It was crazy, and I was mad at that point. It's like, oh my gosh, why did I fall? You know, I wasn't looking at it as, oh, I've got to wear different shoes. I'm not going to walk on that side of the street. Okay, yes, I'll do those things. I'll try to strategize, as I said in, number 5. I'll strategize so I don't fall again. But I started getting acupuncture. I was more vigilant with getting massage. I worked more on self-care. I became more aware of what was going on in my body. And so I took that injury, that experience, that double whammy experience, and said, okay, I need more self-care. That's what I'm going to do. And that became my strategy. And so I'm not sure why I fell, but I am grateful that I took that turbulence in my life and turned it into an opportunity for self-care. So that's where I'm getting at here. We're connected to our past, our present, and our future. We're connected to experiences and relationships, and we are on the journey of being a healer because we are everything of who we are. All of it. It all matters. What's your soul learning from your life's journey? Your soul should be learning joy, abundance, love, peace, harmony. Your soul should be learning that there are no limits. Your soul should be learning that you can come into alignment with the divine. with being God, with healing, with becoming, and with being. This is why we're here. What happens if we do that? What happens if we achieve joy, abundance, love, peace, harmony, and no limits? What happens? Any ideas on what happens?
It raises your vibration.
Of who?
Of yourself and others around you.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. It raises your vibration. You become illuminated. And remember I said that scientific equipment could measure, the aura of the heart out to 8 feet, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what if you didn't need scientific instruments to measure that? What if you could see that? What if you could feel that? Interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
If we achieve that, and this is where we're going, by the way, we are the ones who are, I've heard it said, filling in the gap. All of the ancestors, all of the past lives, all of the stuff that has happened before us has gone through turbulence. I'll just say that, turbulence, some suffering, people who are stuck. And then what we can look forward to is joy, abundance, love, harmony, peace, no limits. And so we are right here in the middle. You and I and everyone on the call and other light workers who are doing this kind of work, we're all ready to bring up the vibration, and we begin with ourselves. You have to start with yourself. We all have to start with ourselves. We talked about this last time, we can't go out and fix anybody. They don't want to be fixed. Well, maybe if they're asking, of course, you're going to use your Reiki, you're going to use your essential oils and your crystals and your magic and your intuition, and you're going to do all of those wonderful things because they've asked for help, and you can do that. So you're going to do that. You're going to help because they're asking. The ones who are not asking, you're not going to help. You're just going to send love, sending out the vibration of love, and that in itself might be exactly what is needed to raise the vibration. We have classes coming up for Illumination Reiki at the end of February. I've got a workshop coming up in 2 weeks called Your Aura Has a Body. I'm very excited about that. We'll be doing that in the new space over at Vibrant Studios, and would love for you to be there. We also have an open house, a launch party for our students, and then early in the day, and then later on for people who are not our students but would love to come see our space and experience cool stuff. And that's coming up the last weekend in January. So Illumination Reiki 1 is a series of classes. The first 4 are on the calendar. The 5th one in Illumination Reiki 1, where you get certification and ceremony, is a date after that, about a month after that. Who is eligible? Who can participate in that? It's anybody who has completed training with Usui Reiki 1 and 2, whether with us or with anybody else. And we have reasons for that. We would love to share that with you. My daughter and I, Michelle and I, will be bringing that out into the world. We will be birthing it, and would love to have you witness that birth. Where will your path lead you? We would love to see you and help you along the way. We would love to be a part of your journey. And the best way to reach me, of course, is through my website, secondnaturehealing.com, or you can email me, rosemary@secondnaturehealing.com. And, of course, if you're not registered, please register for the Healer's Journey webinar, secondnaturehealing.com/webinar.html, and that will get you on my list where I will send only to you not to anybody else. I will send you a direct link to the recording and to other materials that I come up with that I would love for you to have, whether it's an article or a picture or a set of exercises or something like that. And just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here. It's an honor to be a part of your journey. And I would love to hear more from you.